The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome in. The new drug is the band is back together. Seems like the last time we did a show together was like December. Somewhere thereabout.
Yeah, I don't think the Gators had won the national title yet.
Did they win the national title?
Speaking of that.
How about that?
Yeah.
We ought to cover that.
We might.
We only have 2 hours. We got to get through that. Frank Frangie.
It was a great run, too.
Yeah, yes, it was. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, JJ LaSelva with you. I got a haircut 2 hours ago.
Mm-hmm. I need to get one maybe tomorrow.
I saw my friend Ashley at Sports Clips. She's been cutting my hair for the longest time. And I thought I had a haircut. JJ got a goddamn haircut.
Yeah, he
doesn't hold back.
Yeah.
JJ doesn't hold back.
His philosophy and my philosophy are very much aligned because I don't really like going. So when I go, it's they basically bring out the clippers and I don't have to go back for a couple months. And JJ's got, but his is short.
Tom, give me a 2.
Yeah, is that what they do?
Wow, I don't
Give
go
me
that.
two.
I can't go.
See you in 60 days.
My days of the 2 are over.
Yeah,
that was like, but in college, I love the 2. Now I'm like a 4 and a 6.
I'm so old. I get a scissor cut.
Yeah.
Ashley goes, "What number do you want?" I said, "Scissors." She goes, "You want like the whole thing scissors?" I said, "Yes, I want a scissor." I'm an old guy, and old people have scissor cuts. That's what we do. We don't need the. Bzzz. I don't need a 2, 3, 4, 86, 14. I want a scissor.
Listen, I get it too, but let me tell you, I'm not feeling too young. I got a lot of gray down there. It's hidden at the root, but man, there is a lot. And it's starting to freak me out a little bit. And even like usually the lady, when I mention it, she'll be like, "Oh, no, it's nothing," But this time she was actually like, "Oh, yeah, but it blends in well with your hair color." I was like, "Damn it.
That's not the answer I wanted."
Yeah.
That's not what I was looking for, ma'am. Let's do this again. So.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. All right, a lot of things to talk about today. We were at a Jaguar mini camp. The rookie mini camp, Hays and I were out there among many of us here at the radio station. We're out there. It was good to see that. Got some thoughts on that. We'll cover that with you. Hays, I got to tell you, before we get to football, I warned JJ that the pain was coming.
I knew it.
When the Braves showed up in PNC Park, I told him the pain was coming, okay? Well, we only won 2 out of 3. Disappointed, okay? I wanted the sweep.
You could have had it.
11 innings. They took the one game we lost was 11 innings. But we beat those Braves 2 out of 3. We scored a bunch of runs. We ran it. It was an offensive shootout the whole weekend. It was nothing but offense.
I tried to tell you you
did.
Frank.
Yeah, well, let me tell you my take on this. My joking aside take. JJ has tried to tell us, but because I'm the smartest guy in the room, I didn't listen. Okay, he said, and I'm not kidding about this. JJ tried to tell me this. I will tell you this. God bless you. And look, the Pirates suck. We all know that. They happen to win a couple games. But boy, JJ, the Braves don't hit much, man.
They can't hit.
You told me. Back in the day, I would watch all the baseball, JJ, not just my team. You know what I mean? I'd watch all of it. Now I'm probably guilty of mostly watching my team. I'll watch a game.
There's only so many hours in the day.
Correct. So I mostly just watch So I had not watched the Braves much. Boy, they don't hit much.
It's a hard watch.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's every single night, man. It's like pulling teeth to try to get the 3 runs with these guys.
Hey, so So yesterday, okay, after Mother's Day, Amber came over. We're having this big time. After I'm watching the game, think about this: the Pirates and the Braves played 3 games. Okay, the Saturday game went 11 innings. So by yesterday, before the 8th inning, they'd played 27 innings, which is the equivalent of 3 games. Okay. The Braves at that point had scored 4 runs.
Jeez. And then the 3 they scored yesterday was on one hit.
Right. They had scored 4 runs. Now Murphy had a 3-run double, but Hays they had scored 4 runs in 3 against the powerful Pittsburgh Pirates. It wasn't exactly Scherzer, Kershaw, and Verlander that we threw at him.
Skeens.
It didn't see. And by the way, it didn't see Skeens or Keller. Didn't see either one of them. So I thought. I mean, again, the Braves will be okay.
They're 21st right now in batting average at 237. That's
watching
that's pretty awful.
And JJ
for Atlanta.
And again, JJ told me this, but JJ, the at bats aren't good,
dude. They're so unprofessional.
Yeah, they chase, they take. So anyway, that honest to God, it really surprised me.
They can't draw a walk to save their life. It's really bad. And guys that everybody used to love as part of that World Series team, like Ozzie Albies is like the worst hitter in baseball. It's crazy what's happened. You almost think like 2023 when they broke all those records. It's like I think we were cheating. Yeah, I think we were like doing some Astros stuff.
Albies has 5 home runs. He's hitting 210. He's hitting 210. So anyway, you tried to tell me, and I didn't want to listen. I was. By the way, I was kidding about the pain. I thought we were going to get our ass beat 3 times in a row. Boy, the Braves. It's not what I've seen. I've watched a lot of Braves baseball. I have not seen that. I really haven't.
By the way, I'll be in Fenway this weekend to watch the Braves.
There you go. Well, good.
Luckily, I'll be at Fenway, so I won't really care that we're losing these games.
Exactly right.
But yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Well, so but a lot of things to talk. Training camp. A lot of thoughts about the rookies, at least for me. I know you have a lot too. I want to talk about the Jags. Big football week. Schedule release is on Wednesday, usually a Thursday night, Wednesday night this year. And you'll start seeing. I think the international games are announced. Is it tomorrow?
That's correct.
The international games tomorrow.
And this morning they formally announced Dallas will open the season at Philadelphia.
That's correct. So you now know the Chargers Chiefs game in Brazil. Right. You now know the Cowboys Eagles game. Tomorrow you'll know the international games, which I assume means you'll know the Jaguars London opponent will be announced tomorrow. So I think all that comes. So stuff will start leaking out. But I give the NFL credit, man. They used to do this in April, but then they took May and June and July off. Why not stay in the news, right? Why not stay? And I think they will stay in the news. So I think so we'll certainly talk. I have a lot to talk about today or this week on the program. So we'll certainly get to that. That comes up as well. Watching the NBA as best I can. JJ, are the T-Wolves the most impressive team in the NBA playoffs so far?
I would say the Pacers.
You look at the Pacers. Look at the lead they had.
But yeah, in the West. Because OKC and the Nuggets have looked pretty bad. Jokic hasn't been good in 3 games. Neither has SGA. That series is who doesn't, neither team wants to win, basically. But yeah, I could give you that. I mean, the Pacers have been super impressive with the Cavs.
You're right.
Yeah, I think they're going to run through Golden State. Without Steph, it looks like they really have no chance. And it'll be their second Western Conference Finals in a row.
Yeah, and
for the Warriors or for the T-Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, so that's right. They'll make the finals, and you're right. The Pacers, shame on me. The Pacers have been very good. And the other storyline is, gosh, everybody's hurt. Steph's hurt, might not come back in the thing. Porzingis has been hurt, in and out. It looked like Edwards got hurt the other day. Now Donovan Mitchell's down.
Tatum's got a wrist thing.
Yeah, he's not full strength. Doesn't it seem like there's more of that than, and again, I don't watch it closely, but by the playoffs we're usually watching.
Yeah, I would say so. It also feels, and I'll be curious to see what you guys think of this. It feels like we're headed towards almost, no matter how this ends, that this will be maybe one of the least impressive world champions that we've seen in a while.
Certainly least impactful.
I would say I
agree with that.
Last year had a good the Celtics were a good team, but the road that got them there was so easy. But I think that maybe this team, we're going to look back and be like, wow, that was a weird playoffs. If we have the T-Wolves win the whole thing or something like that.
Yeah, no.
Unless the Nuggets win. If the Nuggets somehow beat OKC and Jokic is a great player throughout the rest of the playoffs, and we're like, okay, the team with the best guy won.
Right.
Or maybe if the Celtics come all the way back and win it. But yeah, if it's anybody else, I agree.
Yeah, so a lot of things to talk about today on the program. We're going to start the program by talking about what we took from rookie minicamp, what we take the vibe around the Jags being out there, the fact that they let fans in. It's an interesting day. So Saturday, it's, at least where I lived, storming like crazy. I mean, lightning and rain and crazy. And I said, okay, there's no way they're going to see. You and I were texting in the morning. I said, there's no way they're going to do this. So you told me that the word was they were going to try and do it even if they did it indoors. So I got down there and went snooping around a little bit when I realized it was on. I think they put it on and canceled it about 4 times. You know that? They were going to do it, then they didn't want to, and then they said, nah, we want our fans to see this, and Liam really wants to be outside, and they waited, and they made the absolute 100% right decision. Put it on. I thought the fans were great to have had the weather you had in the morning, to have a rookie minicamp with no Trevor or no Josh Hines Allen or no Trayvon, just a bunch of rookies, 3 or 4 you probably could have named. That crowd was fantastic. Didn't
Absolutely.
You think that?
Oh, yeah. It was
fantastic crowd.
It was a really fun, afternoon, fun couple of hours out there, and obviously it wasn't very intense at all.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
it was basically like a football camp.
Yeah, it was someone said it's real football. It's sort of football.
Yeah,
it's the underwear Olympics.
And that's the CBA. That's every club doing this. None of them are going to be more than just sort of glorified, kind of walkthroughs. But still, you get a chance to see one of the best athletes in the country, and Travis Hunter. So that right there was was worth the price of admission. And again, when I say it's a free event, the Jaguars just have you register on their site. But yeah, I thought it was a great couple of hours, and it was fun to get a chance to see these guys up close for the first time and see some of that, speed that we've talked about with not just Travis Hunter, but Ransaw and Tootin and guys like that. Because that stuff you can see. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that, translates right over.
No, you're exactly right. So we'll start the program. We'll take a break. We'll start the program, our impressions. And again, it's the underwear Olympics, as they call it. Nobody's hitting anybody. Nobody's wearing any pads. There's no veterans out there. But to Hays' point, there are some things you can see. We'll tell you kind of what jumped off the page for us, if anything. We'll talk a little bit about the Jags. We'll talk a little bit about the schedule coming up. A lot of football coming up today on the program. A lot of things to do on a Monday. Glad you're with us. Do want to thank our friends from the Best Bet. Nobody does a better job. Nobody has more fun than our friends out at the Best Bet. We certainly do appreciate them. We'll talk about all the things going on at the Best Bet this week. All that and more we continue. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
What the hell's going on out here?
Where passion and fundamentals meet.
What we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Okay, here we go with our final lightning round on Potty Talk. Top 3 answers on the board. Ready? Okay. The best way to save money when your faucets or pipes are leaking.
Roland Reese Plumbing?
Something to help you avoid clogged sewers and drains.
Roland Reese Plumbing.
The technical term for that ba-whoosh sound when a toilet flushes correctly.
Roland Reese Plumbing.
Roland Reese Plumbing is always the right answer. Roland Reese Plumbing, 260-7059.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Plumbing problems? AC not blowing? Septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. Waddle over to duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. But if they're paying their salespeople commission, you're starting off in the hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
Frank Frangie here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
Friends, we have a very special guest on the line.
The Checkmate Coatings phone line is where the action happens.
Where's the phone? Over there.
Get expert interviews and listener opinions all day, every day, from the drill all the way to Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Feeling the Florida heat? Make sure your car's AC is ready with help from Big Chief Tire. Frank Frangie here. Right now, get $50 off all AC services at any of their 5 Jacksonville locations. Whether it's a quick recharge or a full repair, their expert technicians will keep you cool and comfortable on the road. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your AC service today and take advantage of this limited one-time offer. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with prices that don't break the bank and our wow ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing to provide you with a peace of mind. You better beat the surge and head to the all-new Beaver Toyota or Chevrolet for the car buying experience you deserve.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
We do thank our friends from the Best Bet. Now, this Friday and Saturday at all Best Bet locations, $300 every 15 minutes, giving away the table games. That's from 6 p to midnight. That's at all 3 locations, St. Augustine, Jacksonville here on Monument Road, and, of course, the location in Orange Park on 17. Friday and Saturday, $300 every 15 minutes given away at the table games. Get over there. That's from 6 to midnight coming up on Friday. Frangie and Carlyon with you. Good to have the band back together. JJ, let's have. By the way, JJ did a very admirable job, by the way, on headlines. I don't know if you're listening or not.
Oh, that's awesome.
Knocked it out. Well done.
Well
JJ.
done.
Well, all 3 of those were
Thank
well
you.
done. So really nice job. All right, let's start big picture. We were out there. It was a good vibe. I think everybody would agree with that. Anything jump off the page for you the day we were for Saturday being out there with all the rookies?
I mean, no, I'd be disingenuous to say anything really jumped off the page. I was expecting Hunter to look very smooth and agile, and he did. I was expecting Tootin to look super fast, and he does. Same with Ransaw. So the athletic traits, Milam I thought was impressive in terms of his frame. So, from just kind of seeing the athletes now having known their measurables coming in, that was good to see and to see all that line up. But I mean, honestly, they were working on very, very fundamental things, and obviously there's no contact. So, it was interesting, just sort of the conversations that you have more than anything else. It seems like, Kaiser is made a good impression on them, which is good. And, and so it looks like so far, it's very early returns. but looks so far like they accomplished a lot in this draft.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's hard to tell a lot. The vibe was very good. Watching, I didn't know what Liam Cohen would look like as a coach. He was bouncing all around, calling plays into his little mic. Half the time he's behind the defense, half the time behind the offense. I noticed how much he was all around. Did you notice that? He was kind of an all-around guy. It's a vocal staff. I like that. A lot of the special team stuff was very vocal, which I enjoyed. So certainly that stood out for me. Bashul Tutin really looks the part. I don't know what I was expecting to see. For whatever reason, when you watched him on tape, he looked like a little guy. And you remember, he's not a guy I knew who he was. I'm not going to lie. I didn't see Virginia Tech games very often. So I'm not going to say I knew who he was, and because I didn't. But I will tell you, Hays, he's put together now. He's 210, 215 pounds. I missed the memo on that. Did you think he was a little guy, or is that just me? I don't know.
Well, you see 4.33 or whatever he ran.
And maybe I did that.
And you just sort of assume.
And maybe I did that.
The Chris Johnson kind of body type.
You're right.
But no, he's
well said. That's probably what I did.
He's got a low center of gravity. He's not a very tall player, but yeah, I mean, he certainly is. Has done a good job of building up his lower body, and you can see that he brings a physical nature to his craft. And again, we didn't get to see any of the breaking tackles, but just you can look at him as an athlete, and it's not that hard to draw a line to this guy's going to be able to get through some arm tackles.
He looks like today's NFL running back. I would be very surprised if he doesn't have, barring injury, a somewhat significant impact on the football team this year. I'll tell you that. Despite being drafted a little lower, I would be surprised if he doesn't have a somewhat significant impact. That doesn't mean he's beating out Etienne and Bigsby and starting day one, but I would be surprised. That's other than the obvious with Travis Hunter, and I'll get to him in a minute. But I would be surprised if Bashul Tutin doesn't have a major impact first year. That's one. That's step one. You mentioned Wylam and Kaiser. Again, it's hard to tell with linemen. Nobody hits anybody, but you do get the sense that they both have linemen and linebackers. But you do get the sense they have a presence. The second thing is, I'd be very surprised if Jack Kaiser doesn't have a major impact on the team. Whether when they start the season, I've said this all along, I'll stand by this. I think they're going to start, I think their opening depth chart is going to be Foye Luakin, obviously at middle linebacker. I think it's going to be Ventrell Miller at weak side, and Devin Lloyd is going to move to the Sam. That's my opinion. If I'm right about that, I think Jack Kaiser is really going to get significant looks at the Will and maybe even the Mike. Now, Chad Mooma's in there somewhere too. Got to figure out where he's going to play. Obviously there's players that have been here, and I think those players that have been here are going to continue to certainly factor in. I think Yasir Abdullah, who was more of a pass rusher in college, but is kind of settling in as a Sam linebacker, could affect the Devin Lloyd stuff a little. But we'll see. But back to the rookies, Kaiser, Tutin, and Milam. I would be very surprised if they don't impact. Hunter's going to impact. Everybody believes Ransaw, and I'm going to get to him in a minute. We're going to hear from him in just a second, is going to impact. But I would be surprised if it would surprise me greatly if we see, barring an injury. You could have an injury and be gone for, guys get hurt, and the next thing you know, they never wind up playing. I don't know how much Keelan Robinson was going to play last year at all, but he got hurt, so we'll never know. But barring injury, three guys, Milam, Kaiser, and Tutin, I would be surprised if they don't impact the football team, and you don't look up in December and you're very impressed by how those three rookies impacted the team. Agree or disagree?
No, I completely agree. And again, it does make a difference that these guys were drafted for this specific skill set, this specific scheme that Liam Cohen is running, and Anthony Campanile on the defensive side. So, being here before, that's not that big of an advantage. For a guy like Chad Muma, where you could say, well, it's good. He's been around. He's been in the league. He's been with the club. That doesn't really matter. In fact, it might be a bit of a detriment in the sense of, if you're a lot of these young guys on both sides of the ball, you're learning your third head coach, probably a third system, and it might be a little easier as a rookie where you're just coming in and everything's sort of fresh. I mean, you've got to get used to playing at the NFL speed, and that certainly isn't easy. But from a kind of figuring things out, I don't know that in this situation that being a Jaguar veteran particularly helps you because everything's brand new. Tootin will absolutely play. It was a deep class of running backs that don't get fooled by the round he was picked. What you need to know about Tootin, they were going to take Ashton Genty at 5. Well, that's all you need to know how they feel about Etienne and Bigsby, that those at best are supplemental players in their minds. So if that's where you're at, then yeah, Tootin, I think, can quickly get up the board on the depth chart because obviously they like him. So as long as they're right, and he goes out and makes the most of his opportunities, I think he's just going to get more and more. Kaiser, yeah, I think Kaiser makes a lot of sense, is the top backup, maybe at least 2 of the spots. And again, who's to say he can't beat out Ventrell Miller? I don't think that that's a Herculean challenge. And then Milam, I'd be shocked if he's not the week 1 left guard. I mean, I would be shocked if he's healthy, if he's not a starter. So yeah, when you look at it for not having a second round pick, I do think you can obviously Travis Hunter, and you'd like to say you can count him twice because of what he'll give you on both sides of the ball. But Travis Hunter, Kaiser, Tootin, Milam, I would be stunned if they are not heavily involved on the offensive and defensive sides of the ball.
Which gets us to Caleb Ransaw, a very high draft.
Ransaw as well. Yeah, Ransaw will be a starter at safety.
No question. So and people expect that. Ransaw is interesting. He played corner at Tulane, but I've heard enough people tell me now what a good tackler he is that seems to be his calling card. Well, safeties need to tackle, but you need to cover in today's football too. You know he's almost 200 pounds. This is not a little guy.
Yeah, I was impressed. Like standing next to him. Yeah, I was
same here.
Impressed with his frame.
I thought a cornerback at Tulane, I'm thinking 6 feet 182 because that's what Tulane cornerbacks are. He's 5'11", about 197 is what they list him. They list him at 197, and he's probably between 195 and 200 pounds. Great tackler. I got to believe they want him to win the job next to Eric Murray. One good thing about having Eric Murray back there is he's played a lot of football. We're going to hear from him in a second, but before we do, you talked to Caleb Ransaw. What was your general impression?
I really liked meeting Caleb. Very upbeat, confident demeanor. He was very friendly. And again, this was not after the most strenuous practice, but you still have been out there for a couple hours in the heat. And, I was impressed with, again, that's really all you can draw out of this. I can't sit here and tell you today the pros and cons of Caleb Ransaw as an NFL safety. I mean, we just haven't seen enough yet. So it's all projection. But in terms of getting a chance to meet him and talk with him, I really enjoyed it. And, I do think you look at his athletic profile and, again, a position that's probably the weakest on the roster in terms of safety. And I think you like the fact that, yeah, he was primarily a corner in college, but, was able to play inside and out. And the fact that he showed up at the Senior Bowl and worked out at safety, I think showed off his versatility. I think he has got a chance to, I think it would be a disappointment for Gladstone and Cohen if Ransaw isn't a week 1 starting safety. So, I think the fans will really enjoy getting to know Caleb as his career progresses.
Started his career at Troy, then came with John Sumrall when John Sumrall, who's a good friend of Liam Cohen's, obviously, when they were together at Kentucky. When Sumrall moved from Troy to Tulane, Ramshaw came with him and was a very big part of that Tulane program under John Ramshaw. Under John Sumrall. Caleb Ransaw, the newest Jaguar defensive back, the subject of this Hays Carlyon one-on-one.
We are pleased to be joined on 1010XL 92.5 FM with Jaguars safety, Caleb Ransaw. It's great to meet you, man. How you doing?
Me too. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What's it like being out here, being a Jaguar, and all these fans out here watching you practice?
It's a blessing, just get the opportunity to play football. I want to thank the organization for just picking me up and giving me the chance to play. But it's good, though. It's heat out here. I've been playing the South my whole life, so, I'm used to it, but it's good work out here for sure.
Caleb, you're one of the fastest players in college football. How's that speed translating out here at rookie minicamp?
It's going good, just being able to run to the ball, just using my speed to an advantage, just running to the ball, going to attack the ball as well.
You got a lot of praise for your tackling ability coming out of college. What makes you such a solid tackler?
Just paying attention to the techniques, just getting reps in it, just near foot, near shoulder, those type of things, just coming through my hips with power.
In terms of the other guys in the draft class and the other guys here, anybody that stood out to you from a personality standpoint or from a playing standpoint?
It's a lot of good guys. I think our coaches, they bring in some good guys with good character. So, nobody just put spotlight on, but, it's a lot of good people out here.
Caleb, I know it's early, but first impressions, how do you think you fit within this defensive scheme?
Honestly, wherever I'm needed, whatever helped the team the most, that's where I'm willing to go. But, I've been at safety. I've been playing a little bit of nickel, too. So, just wherever I'm needed, I'm playing, so it don't matter.
What were some of your favorite games in college?
I'd say Oklahoma, K-State, Memphis. I played a lot of good games. So,
any plays that stand out to you in those games?
None specifically. I think I made a lot of plays. I had some production, whether that's making tackles on the ball. As far as interceptions, I didn't have that many, but I just feel like I was around the ball a lot, so it's nothing to spotlight on.
Caleb, did you have any dealings with Jacksonville? Had you ever been here before, or is getting to know this city kind of brand new for you?
Yes, sir. I've never been here before. I've been in Florida before in my life, but me being in the South, I've been in the South. But Jacksonville, this is my first time out here, so I have to learn the area for sure.
That's awesome. Did you like golf or the beach or being on the water, anything hobbies-wise?
I like the water.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as far as my hobbies, though, play the game. I like the bowl. I picked that up. So, that was really my two things I like to do.
Caleb, you guys will obviously have about another month's worth of work, and then you'll get a little bit of a break. Do you have any plans for that break before training camp begins?
Really just learn that playbook, just bond my teammates, just those type of things.
Caleb Ransaw, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you can tell in hearing Caleb what an upbeat demeanor he has, and again, so hopefully he'll be an excellent football player. That's first and foremost, that he'll be a great Jaguar. But but again, we've talked at length about it. In that highly intangible kind of player that they're looking for, and I was very impressed. Again, just a quick meeting, but. For Caleb Ransaw to be that bubbly after a practice, it made an impression on me.
We'll take a break. I totally agree with you. He seems upbeat, fun, peppy. We'll take a break. When we come back, there's one rookie we haven't spoken much about today. His name's Travis Hunter. I got a thought or two about the second overall pick in the 2025 draft. That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Your place for Jags news. Jacksonville Sports Superstation has the Jaguars covered. 1010XL.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery?
Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather starting to turn for the better, look ahead. Get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are best in the business. If you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hacker here, and let's talk sincerity. You know, there's a big difference between someone tossing you a casual, hey, how you doing, and genuinely asking, no, really, how are you doing? At Awaken 180, I felt that sincerity every single week while dropping 122 pounds, and I still feel it every month in free maintenance for life. Sure, seeing that number plunge on the scale was incredible, but what truly pushed me across the goal line? My amazing Awaken 180 coaches. They coached me up like I was prepping for draft day, always in my corner, sincerely invested in my success, and check this out. I'm going on a cruise in a couple of weeks, complete with formal night. Now, normally, cameras and I have a strained relationship. I hated taking pictures, but thanks to Awaken 180, the camera and I have made peace. No more ducking photos. Want results you can actually keep? Do what we all did and call 844-346-1800 or book online at awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm Max Fink, and I'll bring you the Gator Report several times weekly to keep you connected to Gainesville.
The Gator Report, put together by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators! Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Spring and summer registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball. Plus, all new girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. I-9 Sports with fields and gyms all over 3 counties. And the best thing is I-9 Sports offers sports year-round so kids can always find a sport to play. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to tell you guys about Lift Power. Lift Power, a Jacksonville-based business, been around for more than 50 years, family-owned and operated, and always on the lookout for good folks, experienced lift truck and dock and door technicians. The benefits out of this world: 401k, company vehicle, paid training, sign-on bonus. Offers so great. Come see why Lift Power has been voted one of the best places to work for the past several years as well. We want you to be a part of the family. Don't let this opportunity slip by. To learn more, all you got to do is go to liftpower.com. Check them out at liftpower.com.
Swing into the hottest party of the summer. Join First T-Door Florida at the Yards on June 12th for the Summer Soiree Baja Beach Bash. We're bringing the vibrant spirit of Cabo San Lucas to the First Coast for an evening of family-friendly fun. Enjoy live music, craft cocktails, golf games, raffle prizes, and delicious Mexican-inspired cuisine from Taco Lu. Golf, fiesta, and philanthropy, all to support the impactful programs of the First Tee. Visit firstteenorthflorida.org/summer soiree to secure your tickets today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Next week at Best Bet Orange Park, don't miss out on the $200 no-limit hold'em with the $50,000 guarantee Stars and Stripes Tournament. Satellite start on May 20th. Frangie Carlyon, La Selva with you. Not a lot of rain today.
Yes.
Remember back when you used to mow your own lawn?
Yeah.
You used to say, man, we need the rain.
Yeah,
we
used
need
to
the rain.
bum me out, stress me out. I'd have been really stressed.
We need the rain. I hated you when you kept asking for the rain because I blamed you when it did.
Yeah.
Now,
It was we got lucky. Gene did all this landscaping, and
then it rained.
And then it rained. It really worked out great. So I haven't had to get out there with.
Did
the
you
hose.
help at all? Did you help?
No. Which, in fairness, she
has it done.
She had it done.
Yeah.
But
you still didn't help at all.
No. And but then she left to go see her parents for Mother's Day weekend.
Right.
So I was in charge of making sure that this extensive project did not die while she was gone.
Don't be afraid to water the plants, Hays.
Right.
That's what
so
you were told
it
to do.
really worked out for me because I still don't even know if we have a garden hose. I never had to go searching because Mother Nature took care of it. The landscaping was done Friday early afternoon.
Yeah.
And we got rain Friday night, Saturday,
You're living
Sunday.
a good life. You know that?
Everything, all those flowers and the sod and everything. They couldn't be happier.
You know you're living a good life when we've had a drought that lasted about 74 years, and then when the landscaping goes in, it rains.
It's amazing.
You see, you're living a good, clean life.
I try.
That happened. Let me make a comment about Travis Hunter, and I'm not trying to disparage anybody that's been here in the past. But it's going to sound like that. It's going to sound like a very disparaging comment. But that's not my intention.
I love disparaging.
My intention is to talk more about Travis Hunter than anybody who's been any former Jaguars. Okay? But he is the anti-Jalen Ramsey. He is. He's never driving up in a Brinks truck. I can pretty much tell you.
Yeah, that would be a surprise.
He's never driving up in a Brinks truck. I love the story that went viral of the lady that sat next to him on the plane. I know I'm that guy. Oh, there's Frangie talking about someone, a good guy again. I know Frankie's a good guy. I know that's who I am. We are who we are. And I know I'm notorious for that. So the hell with it. That's who I am. But I loved that. So if you did not see the story, and most of us did, a lady on a plane wrote a social media post about how she's sitting next to this really nice young man who helped her with her luggage and is friendly and respectful and humble and cordial. And she's asking why he was there. And all of a sudden she figures out he's an athlete. And she says she's so impressed by his politeness and gentle spirit that now she's going to be a fan. It was. If you haven't seen it, it's viral, so go find it. Listening to him in all his interview sessions, standing right in front of him as we all did Saturday when they brought over Liam first and they brought over Travis. He is just, none of this is going to phase. If he doesn't turn out to be great, we'd be shocked. But it won't be because of arrogance, man. It won't be because of narcissism. It won't be because of way too many, and then I'm not blaming young people for this, but way too many people, when you've told them how good they are their whole life, become that guy. I'll never forget what Gardner Minshew said about Trevor Lawrence. Gardner traveled a lot. It might have been when he went to the Colts or somewhere, and they interviewed him about Trevor. He had been here practicing with Trevor the one year, and Gardner Minshew said, they've been telling that guy how good he is since he's been in the 7th grade. He's been hearing he's the savior, he's the greatest, he's the GOAT since before he ever got to high school. Yet he never wears it. And Trevor doesn't act like that, by the way. He really doesn't. I think this guy is like that. I really do. Now, he's smaller than I realized. Seeing him in T-shirt and shorts, he's more slight than I would have expected. Boy, he is pretty to watch run routes. Boy, when he breaks off a route, when he does he is some sort of agile, isn't he? He is man, oh man. It's Percy Harvin but smoother. You notice that? It's Kadarius Toney, that stop and start stuff, but with a smoothness to it. I love the way he answered questions. He doesn't say much, but he answers the question. A lot of times guys that don't say much don't answer the question. He answers every question, but he doesn't go on and on. You can tell he's done this a lot. I am really impressed with him. I am really, really impressed with the gentle spirit. He's just a good little dude, man. And I'm really impressed with Travis Hunter. I found myself walking away. And again, I never say anything negative about Jalen when he was here. I mean, but you knew Jalen was arrogant. He was arrogant on the field. He was arrogant the way he trash talked on the field. He was a very good player, but this is
admitted he didn't want to lead.
Right, correct. This guy is the anti-Jalen Ramsey. And again, it sounds like I'm trying to defame Jalen. That's not my intention. It's just my assessment of being around both of them is very high draft picks. Now, again, one's going to play offense and defense. One was just defense. But both guys were taken in the top 5 of the NFL draft, and that's my take after being around him for a while.
That's the thing with Travis is, and I hadn't thought really about the Jalen comparison, but it's a good one in terms of how contrasting they are. The thing about Travis too that until you really started to dig in on the draft process, and even then, I only believe Travis Hunter might fall to 5 for about 3 minutes one day, and then quickly was like, "There's no chance." So I kind of wrote it off that he's going to go somewhere else. So obviously he becomes a Jaguar, and then you want to know every little tidbit about him that you can find, and it was really interesting to me how dedicated he was academically at Colorado.
Great point.
I mean, for a guy that's already a multimillionaire through NIL and who obviously was going to be an incredibly high pick in the NFL draft, it'd be very easy for him to say, the academic stuff, that's not, I don't really have a passion for that. That's not really why I'm here. I mean, he's a multiple academic All-American. I mean, he had a 3.6 GPA at Colorado. And obviously he graduated and participated in commencement. And that's where, in flying back from that, he sat next to the older woman that was so impressed with his humble nature. And so, yeah, I mean, look, that's important. Obviously, his play on the field is going to dictate what kind of a career he has. But when you're making this kind of an investment of not just the second overall pick, but next year's one, and things, and you're just launching a new vision of the football operation, it is important for it to be not just an exquisite talent, but an exquisite mentality. And I think Travis Hunter has that. I'll tell you another thing that I found refreshing in his press conference, and I say his little scrum that he had after practice with the media that was there. So I asked him about Caleb Ransaw. And you don't know. These guys haven't been together all that long, but you just don't know. Maybe he's going to have a great story about Caleb Ransaw. But to Travis's credit, he was like, nah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
He said, I don't have anything.
I've got nothing. I'd rather just be told that
than make up something.
Oh, he's such a great, I can just tell we're going to, just very genuine person. And, I agree. I mean, everything was kind of short and sweet in terms of his answers, but there was still informative stuff in terms of how he's being incorporated into the defensive meetings, even though we, haven't had a chance to see him on the field defensively. He made a point of saying, well, I am working on the defensive side. It's just been more in the classroom than being applied to the field. So it's not like he hasn't done anything on the defensive side. It's just all everything in those first 2 days on the field was offensive. But I mean, that's the thing. I think it may be because he was at Colorado and the Deion Sanders thing. I think people maybe had a little bit of a false image of Travis because maybe of the allure of Deion. But yeah, he seems incredibly grounded and genuine and doesn't at all buy into the substantial hype that's out there. I mean, obviously he's a confident player, but yeah, you don't get a sense of any kind of entitlement at all. And I don't think you will. The other thing too is I'll say this, and I don't fish, but I've been around people that are avid fishermen my whole life.
Right.
Avid fishermen are good people. Like they just seem to be like good, solid, for whatever reason. There's something, if fishing is something that you're attracted to as a person, it seems like there's a correlation to also being a really good, humble, gentle, genuine person. And maybe that's,
I get it.
Maybe that's way off, but
No,
that's my impression of the people that I know that love to fish are all really good people.
It's funny. It's funny. I heard you say that. I mean, hear you say that. There's no logical explanation to that, but it does seem like that. I agree with you. I'm thinking through. I don't fish either, but I'm thinking through my mind the people that I know that take fishing very seriously, whether it's Loggeman and Kevin Favor who do it offshore, the charter fishing stuff, or whether it's just people in your neighborhood that go over to the lake. But they are. It's a bunch of regular folk. That's a great take. I I'll say this: if the three superstars in the three superstars of the passing game, Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr., and Travis Hunter, become the three superstars of the passing game, I'll say this: you couldn't be less diva-ish, and I know that's not an adjective, and I'm trying to get there. You couldn't have three more non-divas, could you?
Without a doubt.
You couldn't have three guys who have less diva in them than those three. We just met Travis Hunter. I shouldn't act like I'm like him as best buddy, but it would appear there's no diva there.
I mean, in hindsight, how was Brian Thomas Jr. by week 4 not screaming into any microphone or camera in front of him?
Never did.
I am the number one guy in this offense. What are we doing here?
And even when they all figured that out, and he was catching 8, 9, 10 a game and scoring those touchdowns and 100-yard plus games, he never was a diva.
No, there was never any I told you so.
I can tell you, being on the team playing with that group, he was quiet on the team playing. He was on time. He was. I can tell you, I was around him all the time. There's not an ounce of diva in that cat, man, and I don't think there is in this guy either. So we'll see. You made the best point of all. Your disclaimer before you started that what really matters is how does he play.
Right.
That trumps all this.
But we can't make that evaluation yet.
Right.
What we can start to evaluate is the person as we meet them and we're around them. And so far, that's been, I think, incredibly encouraging.
And I do think, back to intangibly rich, which James Gladstone says all the time, and even kind of makes fun of himself a little bit by saying that. Part of that is what kind of a person you are. There's, like Gladstone said at one of the pressers, someone said, everybody asked me what that means. Well, the first thing you think of when you hear it is right. Which is a great answer, by the way. The first thing you think of, the first definition that comes to your mind when you hear that is probably correct. And again, great answer. But being a good dude's part of it. I promise you that's it. If you do the whole definition of intangibly rich, good dude's in there somewhere. I don't think there's any question. So we'll see. But it was a fun day out at camp, like Hays said. You can't tell anything. It's the underwear Olympics. But it was fun watching those guys out there. It was fun being out. We'll be out again a week from today with everybody out.
That'll be great.
So it'll be fun. So the first time we'll get to see this entire team together, again, underwear Olympics again, but the whole entire team together, including the veterans, will be a week from today. And those of us in the media look forward to doing that, and we will do that on Monday. So I look forward to it. Let's take a break. I'm going to make a comment about the worldwide leader. I got a thought or two about that. I want to talk a little bit about college football and a little college hoops all coming up. We got an hour to go. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The race is on.
They're side by side.
It's NASCAR's All-Star Race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Sunday night. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower. 1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Mosquito season is upon us, but don't let them take over. The secret to a bite-free yard is starting today with Kingfish Pest Control. Their 3-step mosquito defense process stops them before they can spread. Eliminate breeding areas. Build a protective barrier around your yard and monthly treatments to keep them away all season long. The earlier you start, the fewer mosquitoes you'll have to fight. Don't let those pests ruin your outdoor fun. Call Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
For the greenest, lushest lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Out here, you'll find a community of hardworking creators with loyal followers, along with proud moments worth sharing. And farm to table, well, That's just supper. And whether it's a raised garden bed, acres of land, or something for your animals, we've got all the supplies and are happy to share a little know-how.
Welcome to Tractor Supply. Into life out here.
At IHRS, we're passionate about solving your hair loss. We're clients too. With the latest hair transplant technology, FDA-approved laser hair therapy, and PRP, we guarantee solutions for both men and women. Call now for a free consultation and receive $250 off. Hair restoration is for me, and it can be for you too. Go to hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477.
Teach your birdies to sing with Dan, Jeff, and PGA pros on Brunch with the Tour. Teed up by Clearwater Irrigation and Apex Roofing and Contracting. Brunch provided by Chick-fil-A. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, and maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I don't see how a new air conditioner is going to work out for me.
Well, you like air conditioning, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. But a new air conditioner could be expensive.
Well, not if you...
I mean, to save up the money, I probably have to give up my extra hot skim latte every morning. Now I fall asleep during a staff meeting, get volunteered for the summer picnic committee, and end up sitting in the dunk tank all afternoon getting water up my nose.
Okay, look at it this way. Put on these sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing puts in a new AC. We hook you up with affordable financing, and you stay cool and comfortable for just $149 a month. Cool?
Cool. I see it now.
Life can be hard on your budget. If you suffer through the heat because of a broken AC you could totally afford to replace, you could visit.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Electrical problems? Call American Electrical Contracting. 737-7770. Small jobs or large, they do them all. Work with a locally owned and operated company that will wire it right at a fair price. It's not just a slogan, it's the way they do business.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Tucker Equipment Rentals. New Jaguars Executive Vice President and Hall of Fame left tackle Tony Baselli kindly joined Mike Dempsey and Tony Smith of the Jaguars Today Show earlier this morning. While covering plenty of topics regarding the new-look Jaguars, Baselli dove into the details on how the Travis Hunter trade went down prior to the draft.
But I remember sitting in the draft room, it was just Liam and I and James, and he came up with the idea. Immediately, Liam and I were like, okay, what do we have to give up? And he went through it, and we're like, let's do it. Give James a ton of credit, the way he executed it, the way he laid it out, and his communication with Andrew Berry and the Browns. Give Andrew Berry and the Browns a ton of credit for keeping it under wraps and keeping their word, because we didn't agree officially to the trade terms because it was all dependent on Cam Ward going one.
It's 80 degrees at 4:59. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
10 XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Hey, we do thank our friends from the Best Bet. Always a Best Bet Monday around here. Lucky Seat Thursdays at Best Bet St. Augustine. That's from 6 to 10 p.m. $100 giveaways every 20 minutes. You know, there's 3 great locations. St. Augustine off of I-95 on 17 in Orange Park and Monument Road here in Jacksonville. Appreciate Bo coming on with Tony Baselli coming on with Mike Dempsey today. Mike did a terrific job with the interview. I thought it was really good, and I thought Tony, as he always does, certainly shed some light on a number of things, including the cut that Max just played there on how it all went about, how it all went down when James Gladstone first recommended the idea of trading up for Travis Hunter. So cool stuff. Really was good. I want to make a point. I saw today two stories. Media stories. Number one, Rich Eisen sort of going back to ESPN. He's not really leaving NFL Network, but that show he does, which is so good and so popular, is now going to show on air on ESPN. And secondly, Chris Berman extended through 29, which means the 50th anniversary of ESPN. He will be there for it.
Back.
I love him. I love him. By the way,
me too.
One of my claims to fame. You know, when he had all the nicknames, I've told this story before. When he had all the nicknames, he got them from all kind of different places. Some he would think, some other people would call in some. Well, Gary Ledman was with TV. I was at the Times Union at the time, and Gary Ledman was our TV writer. And so he would get to know these guys, and he would write stories about them. And I had remembered Odubie McDowell playing for Arizona State before he played for the Rangers. JJ, true story here. And I said, why doesn't he go Odubie Young again, McDowell? Gary Ledman called Chris Berman and said, this is one of our young sports writers has one for you. How about this? He goes, love it.
You heard it on the air?
No, he never credited me on the air, but I know for a fact.
No, but he said it on the air.
Many times.
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Odubie Young again McDowell was one of his big ones.
Yeah. Now, how many people did you turn to and be like, that's me?
I've said it so many times.
And they give you that look like, okay.
That's exactly the look I got. But I did, so I was very proud of that. So, but when I saw those two stories, I thought about this. You know, people want to criticize anybody that gets big in a front-facing position. So ESPN has its critics, and it's far from perfect. The political people think it's far too liberal. The older broadcasters think they're too young. They're too this. They're too that. Everyone's got an opinion. I will tell you this: we are very blessed, really blessed, to have grown up in the age of the greatest sports media enterprise ever, and that's the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. It really is. And it was started by Getty Oil, by the way, for people that don't know that. Getty Oil started it just as a side hustle, if you will. And then obviously Disney bought it, and you know the rest is history. But nothing, the two greatest sports enterprises in the history of sports media, the two greatest, and in my mind there's a gigantic gap after the first two, was Sports Illustrated, which brought great writing to sports. You expected great writing in Time Magazine, in Newsweek. You expected great writing in novels, but you never expected great writing to make its way to the sports world. At least that's what my father told me and what others said. But Sports Illustrated brought not good writing, great writing to sports. And it became mainstream. And ESPN brought all day long sports to us. And I got thinking about that. We are really fortunate that we lived in the age, whether we grew up in it as you did, whether it started when we were getting out of college as it was for me, that to live in the age of this incredible sports enterprise, ESPN. Others have tried to compete. CNNSI certainly did with Nick Charles and Fred Hickman, and they tried to go head-to-head, and they were good too. CNNSI was very good. But nobody, Fox Now, the Fox Noon Kickoff tries to compete with Game Day. Every time ESPN gets something going, someone tries to compete with
Fox Sports 1. How's that go?
Correct. Fox Sports 1 tried to take them on. Nobody's been able to. It's one of the great sports enterprises of our lifetime, and I really believe that, Hays. I believe we are truly blessed that we grew up in the ESPN era. I mean that with all my heart.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the talent that they had in the 80s and 90s was staggering. I mean, just Gammons and Mortensen and Berman and Dan Patrick and Olbermann and Kilborn and Stuart Scott and Eisen and, I mean, Linda Cohn. I mean, that's right. I mean, they had so many, and I'm leaving a bunch out, but just so many excellent reporters and anchors, and they brought a unique style to it. They particularly, when it was fledgling, they allowed, personalities to sort of come out. And then when it really started to catch fire, that was enhanced even more, where you were encouraged. If you were going to be a SportsCenter anchor, you needed to have a little bit of stand-up comic in you. That's right. And not just somebody that could read, a teleprompter and let fans know that the Phillies beat the A's 8-3 or whatever. And so, I love, PTI. I think I don't get a chance to watch it much now, but again, it's been on for a quarter century, and it's had a great run. I was never a big Around the Horn fan, but, a lot of people are, and it had a fantastic run. So, I used to really enjoy Mike and Mike in the morning on ESPN. I don't watch a lot of their morning stuff now, but it's the thing that's so staggering to me about ESPN is the point that you guys are making. No one has ever really even put a slight scare into them from a competition standpoint. I mean, yes, Nick Charles and Hickman were great, right? But
probably the closest to it.
But even then,
right,
it still was
never moved the needle.
Yeah, it still was very much an ESPN world, and they deserve credit for that. By the way, my favorite "Oh to Be Young" McDowell is fantastic, so you deserve a lot of credit on that one. My favorite one, and I have no idea the backstory of who came up with it, but Bert Be Home by 11.
That's phenomenal.
Is my favorite one.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Bert Be Home by 11. It was phenomenal. I mean, there were so many great ones. I mean, if you ever look at a list of them, and I love the fact, see, for a while, everybody hated Berman. I mean, that's the way it goes. If you're front-facing for a long time, a younger generation's going to hate you. And so Berman was front-facing for the longest time. He was the man. Yeah. So the next generation came by and says, I hate Berman. But I'm so glad they extended Berman. I'm so glad that Berman made it. And I love Berman. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I love Tom Coughlin knows him personally, and he's very, very loyal to Tom's cause, which is a really cool thing. You're right, that's a great one.
I even had a little bit of a media hater in me yesterday. So I'm watching the Cavs-Pacers game.
Right.
And Jay Billis is doing the game.
Yeah.
And I like Jay Billis.
Yeah.
I'm a Jay Billis fan. But it was a little bit of the Herb Street thing. It's like, why is Jay Billis doing an NBA game?
Right.
And it bothered me. Like to the point where
I get it.
It was affecting my enjoyment, and it was it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't watch for very long.
Yeah,
but but again, and
Lou's like that. He gets like so angry that Herb Street does Thursday. I'm just like
I think Herb Street is a disaster when it comes to the NFL.
He agrees,
but and I like Herb Street. Okay, I've never been a huge Herb Street fan, even in the college realm, but I do think he's good and he's certainly prepared. I don't like him at all as an NFL guy, and I know he's working hard. I just don't think it's a good fit. But part of that is the whole I typecast you like an actor. If I've always seen you in a comedy, and then you're going to show up in a drama with Meryl Streep. I'm probably not buying into that as much as I would be if you were with Will Ferrell and falling into a pool.
Why is Bobcat Goldthwait?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it was weird. I was like, I like Jay Billis, and I don't want to be bothered by this, but I can't listen to Jay Billis doing an NBA game.
Yeah, even by the way, and I get it, even though he's very good, and he's very good on NBA. But you're right.
And I wouldn't even know if he was bad on NBA because I don't watch enough NBA.
Well, okay, me too.
But it just was still like,
You wonder, that's right. And you wonder about, it's a fit thing. But I've always said this about Herb Street doing NFL. Okay, Herb Street, you make $15 million at ESPN or whatever, okay? So Prime comes along and says, hey, we're going to give you an extra 10 to do Thursday night. Nah, I'm good. Of course he's going to do it.
Oh, yeah. I don't blame him for taking the deal.
Same with Bill. Of course he's going to.
I blame Amazon.
Right. So, but anyway, but back to the ESPN thing. I'm so, and I can remember, I don't know if you will or not, you're born in the 70s. You might. Now, you're probably too young. You're probably 10 or 12 when it started turning over. But the early years, Berman, Bob Lee, Tom Mees, God rest his soul, who drowned, who died in a tragic drowning accident, George Grand, Len Berman. Those names moved the needle for you at all?
I definitely remember Tom Mees. He was fantastic.
Palmer. Yeah, okay. Tom Mees was very good. Florida State guy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Bob Lee, did Outside the Lines for a number of years, but he started as an anchor.
He started as sports anchor.
For me, Bob Lee was like the serious journalist.
Correct.
Guy.
But he started out as a Sports Center guy.
Right.
Okay. And you're right, JJ. They all evolved into, by the time you were starting to watch Hays, probably 12, 13, 14, however old you were, that's when Patrick, Olbermann, Stuart Scott came around.
Right.
But when I was young, when I was in college young, it was Berman, Bob Lee, Tom Mees, George Grand.
Who was there was I'm not going to remember it, but yeah, I mean it was they've always had an outstanding group of broadcasters.
And it really, and so, I mean, 50 years, they'll celebrate 50 years, you know.
Have you guys ever read the book, Those Guys Have All the Fun?
I never did.
Oh my God.
Is it great?
Is it about Sports Center?
It's like, I wouldn't even call it a book.
Yeah.
It's like when you take people's quotes.
It's like the oral history.
An oral history, exactly. And it is juicy, man. Like if you grew up like when me and Hays sort of did watching those Sports Centers, like I highly recommend it. It's called Those Guys Have All the Fun. It's a really fun read.
I'll bet it is. And again, I just think it's
who was it? Gail Gardner? Who was the redhead they had in the early?
Gail Gardner was on for the longest time.
Yeah, she was good.
She was very good. She was probably, again, when you would start when you got the second, you didn't get the fourth or fifth wave. You got the second wave. The second wave, I think, was Patrick and Olbermann and Stuart Scott, and that group was right. And then Kilborn and the people that left it. That group was right after Berman, Lee, Mees, Grand, and so, but it was great.
Charlie Steiner
was probably in that year group. You know, so you're exactly right. It's also fun. I mean, 50 years.
That is hard to believe.
Now, for someone who grew up knowing only ESPN, 50 years is no different than 80 years. But for someone like me who grew up without them having, I tell you this the other day. So, and I love this. I love it. That we get together with 7 or 8 of us who went to elementary school, and we do it once a month or so. And my one friend Mark Cope, shout out to Mark, who's such a good dude, gets it all together. I mean, we've known each other since the first grade. I mean, I'm in the town I grew up in, so we get together, and my friend Kevin Gay is involved, my friend David Feldman, Jerry Hurst, who you know. And we have so much of it. And then we started involving some of the girls who went to school with it. It was like this men's club, and then someone said, "Why don't we invite them?" So now it's boys and girls, if you will. And we were there last Tuesday, and Tanya Crescent-Benny, wife of John Crescent-Benny, longtime councilman, who we grew up with, she says, "Well, we're exciting news. We're working next year on our 50th reunion." I'm like, 50th?
You're like, for who?
Who's 50th? Do we know anybody that old?
Yeah.
I'm not going to somebody's 50th, for God's sake. What the hell are you talking about, 50th reunion? You know what? You know who goes to the 50th reunion? Old people. That's who goes to it. So, I mean, that's how it just hit me. I said, God dang, it's our 50th reunion. I don't accept that. I don't accept it. But it's amazing with ESPN. It's been 50 years, and it's been a great ride. And every sports fan should say thank you to ESPN for the ride. I mean that every sport, no different than everybody that loves to laugh and loves entertainment should tip their cap to Saturday Night Live. You know, I mean, there's been so many of them. So anyway, that just hit me when I saw those stories come out today.
And now they've hired a great guy like Joshua LaSelva.
Yeah,
shout out to Little Bro.
How about,
you know what,
Little Bro, and Little Bro's right there in
50
Bristol.
50 years later.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Great point. We'll take a break. Hays has headlines after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
The roar of the crowd The theater of your mind.
Breaking free, they're not going to catch him.
It comes alive in your ears.
Showtime.
Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio. 1010XL.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music, the windows down. There's a cool breeze. Life is good. But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Hey, don't buy a diamond at one of those big box corporate jewelers in the town center until you see what Beard's Diamonds can offer. Hicken here. Beard's Diamonds will give you a better price on a better quality diamond. Beards, they're not beholden to Wall Street. They are beholden to the people of Jacksonville. Why? Because they're the only locally owned jeweler in the town center. Yes, Beards has the best diamond selection in the region. No middleman prices on hand-picked diamonds, all shapes, all sizes. They also have the top bridal designers like Tacori and Verragio. And here's something else. Unlike the others, Beards doesn't have commissioned salespeople. Their experts get paid whether you buy something or not. So no pressure, ever. Their associates are diamond experts. They'll teach you how to buy a diamond the smart way. We're really lucky to have Beards here as a refreshing alternative. You get it all. No compromises, highest quality, personal service, no middleman pricing, and unbeatable guarantees. Beards Diamonds, the only locally owned jeweler. They're at the St. John's Town Center.
The PGA Championship is known for testing a golfer's all-around game.
It's a very difficult putt to read.
Hear updates and coverage of the PGA Championship teed up by TopDressing.com and St. John's Middle School Athletic Association.
Hey, it's Matt Hays here with a challenge. A challenge might not be the best choice in words, so let's say an opportunity. Take the opportunity to lose 40 by the fourth with Awaken 180. It sounds a little different when you put a real goal to it, doesn't it? Maybe you looked at the scale this morning and it read 230 pounds. How about a reading 190 by the fourth? Maybe the scale says 300. Wouldn't the number 260 be a little nicer on your eyes and on your joints? It's attainable if you have the same results we all had with Awaken 180. I dropped 40 pounds in 9 weeks. Hacker dropped his first 40 in just 6 weeks. Dempsey, Blue, and everyone else I know, same results. And we've kept it off. The best thing about Awaken 180 weight loss, it will completely change the way you think, see, and feel about food. The results are real, attainable, and the process simple with Awaken 180. Take the opportunity and drop 40 by the fourth. It all starts with just one call to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Have
you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
When you hear Florida Gators baseball on 1010XL, it's brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators, and Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. We've got JJ LaSelva. I am Hays Carlyon, and thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we're going to start with Jags minicamp. Again, not a ton of football observations that can be made, but what did you think about the day in general?
I love the vibe. I love the fact that they got it in. It was raining in the morning and storming, but they found a way to get it in. God smiled on the Jaguars, right? I thought the crowd was great. I thought, you can't turn, like, it's the Underwear Olympics. You can't tell a lot of football. But here's what I'll tell you what I told you earlier. I think that obviously Travis Hunter's going to be a starter on the team. Everyone believes Caleb Ransaw's got every chance to win a safety job and start. I think Kaiser's going to affect the team positively. I think Wyatt Milam's got a chance to impact the offensive line at left guard. And I would be shocked if Bashul Tootin isn't a major factor in that running backs room. So that's a lot of guys. It felt right out there. It felt we've been to all the rookie mini camps, and there's generally two quarterbacks who aren't going to be on the team, and there's generally a bunch of wide receivers who aren't going to be on the team. And it's no different than any other rookie mini camp. But it was a good vibe, and it was fun being out there.
In terms of the Jags schedule, we'll know that Wednesday evening. But one thing that I think is intriguing is looking at the back-to-back games on the West Coast factor. And will that be something that the club wants to do? Liam Cohen was asked after practice on Saturday about that. He kind of deferred to Baselli, the EVP, in terms of that. But with 4 games to the West Coast, basically, what do you think? Would it be better for them to try and get back-to-back out there, or is it no big deal to have to fly out to Denver and San Fran and the rest?
I'm going to guess their preference is not back-to-back, just to not be gone for a week. I think I think if you get the back-to-back, again, the 4 games we're talking about are Denver, San Francisco, Las Vegas, and Arizona, which is in Phoenix. Okay, those are the 4 games we're talking about, okay? So trips to Phoenix, to Las Vegas, to Denver, and San Francisco. If any of those are paired back-to-back, maybe not Denver, but any of the other 3, you're probably going to go out and stay out for a week. And I would think the team might, and I don't know this, they'll tell us this after the schedule came out, but I would guess the team's preference would be not to have to spend a week away from home if you don't have to. So I would guess, I don't think it's that big a deal if you have to, but I would guess any team that can avoid being gone from their families for what would be the equivalent of 10 days, because you'll go Friday, I would imagine. Well, maybe you go Saturday, but even if it's 8 or 9 days, I would think most teams would want to avoid that if they could.
Liam Cohen was asked about joint practices also on Saturday and said he is hopeful to have joint practices, but obviously they've had initial conversations, but they'll need to see the official schedule, which we should get. If we get the real schedule Wednesday night, the preseason schedule we'll probably get Thursday.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 1, maybe even 2 teams with whom they joint practice. I wouldn't be surprised if when those schedules come out, you find out that they're having joint practices with 2 different teams. That's what the league's doing these days. It used to be nobody had a joint practice. Then everybody wanted one. If you look around, Hays, at recent years, an awful lot of teams are doing it twice. Would not shock me if the Jags wind up having 2 joint practices among their 3 preseason games.
That would be fantastic. Hopefully that is the case. Let's get it to around the NFL. We're starting to get some schedule announcements. These aren't leaks. A lot of the networks, to kind of build hype, they're going ahead and releasing some of the games that are important to them. None bigger in terms of the start of the season than the first game. And we found out today that the Cowboys will travel to Philadelphia to face the Eagles in the first game of the NFL season. I was a little disappointed by it. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I'm fine with it. I didn't care either way. That one didn't surprise me. That's a defending champion playing host to a real marquee team. So I think that I'm not surprised. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the Cowboys are always the on the cusp team, and in a weird sort of way. I know it's the one hire that everybody slammed, and maybe he'll be terrible. Because I used to cover him I covered him while he carried a clipboard at Florida. I'm intrigued by what they're like under Brian Schottenheimer. I am. So no, that one doesn't bother me. I was surprised as you talk about games have been announced, and I hope I'm not getting ahead of you here, but I'm surprised the Chargers didn't want to protect the Chiefs home game. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it does. If
there's ever a game you're going to protect, now, are you fearful that the Chargers don't draw great? Are you fearful that game would have been more Chiefs fans than Chargers fans?
And that could be.
Yeah.
How many years have the Chargers been in L.A. now? Like, is this year 4?
Something like that.
So maybe the novelty is worn out.
They played in the kind of the soccer stadium for.
And Chiefs fans travel so freaking
Yeah,
well.
they do. So I think maybe the fear was if you know, is it good? But they also play the Steelers at home. Well, I can promise you that's going to be a Steelers home game because it just tends to be in a lot of places.
Fox just announced in the last few minutes Week 16 doubleheader on Saturday, December 20th. It will be Eagles at Commanders and Packers at Bears.
The first game, pretty good game now.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Commanders are the shiny new thing.
That could be for the division.
Yeah, and the Eagles are holding the trophy. Packers at Bears will be interesting because that's two young quarterbacks that if they catch stride might be the next big thing. Neither has yet. But, in fact, Jordan Love is closer to Caleb Williams of catching stride. But that's two young quarterbacks that'll be ratings bonanza, I would imagine.
And you've got, not only is it one of the NFL's oldest rivalries, but you've got Ben Johnson kind of fanning the flame by talking about how he owns the Packers and things like that.
Yeah, he's been a little chirpy, hasn't he?
Yeah, so that'll be good. That's the same day, by the way, as the college football playoff. So there'll be a lot of football Saturday, December 20th. Cincinnati defensive end Trey Hendrickson issued a statement today saying he has had no communication with the Bengals front office or coaching staff. The 30-year-old Orlando native has recorded 35 sacks in the last 2 years combined, but is unhappy with his contract. And Cincinnati, as they are often to do, has been very silent and stagnant on Hendrickson's demands.
Two thoughts on him. Number one, Cincinnati is notoriously underpaid, and that's where the narrative is now. The other thing is he's 30?
30.
He's a 30-year-old guy that wants $25 million a year or whatever the number is, and I think they would trade him to a team if the team would agree to pay him, and I think he's going to have a tough time finding that.
I apologize. You guys may have gotten to this last week. I couldn't remember when this broke. Saints quarterback Derek Carr retiring after a career in which he made 4 Pro Bowls.
No, we didn't.
All right, the 34-year-old Carr has been dealing with a shoulder injury. He finishes his career with 41,245 yards, with 257 touchdown passes and 112 interceptions. What do you think about Derek Carr's career, and now what do you make of the Saints?
You said it. Great durability. Went to 4 Pro Bowls. A well-known commodity. Why do I feel underwhelmed by the?
Because I think that's what you should feel.
The Derek Carr.
I was surprised the numbers were as good as they were.
Me too. Me too. When you just read them, I feel I'm underwhelmed by anything Derek Carr was. It was a meh career for me.
Yeah, and every time we saw him in person, he was terrible.
Yeah, and that's probably part of it.
Yeah, but boy, it really makes you wonder if New Orleans is. Yeah. Are they finally tanking like they've needed to be doing probably 2 years ago, and just particularly with this quarterback class potentially as good as it could be coming up.
Well, they have a new coach who's very respected, a new young respected coach. They're going to play a young quarterback. We'll see.
Yeah, we will. In college football, Florida announces its homecoming game will be against Mississippi State on October 18th.
It's really the only team it could be. I mean, if you think about it, there's very few.
If you want to win,
look, let's be honest. You want a gimme.
As close as you can get to
the homecoming game is there just aren't many on the schedule.
No.
And so I never thought about who's homecoming till the story came out today. But if you'd asked me 2 days ago, I'd have looked at it. I said, it's got to be Mississippi State. Wouldn't you?
I would have.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, nothing against Florida may end up being very good, but yeah, that was a no-brainer to have Mississippi State be the homecoming opponent. Let's get it to the world of golf. Sepp Straka outlasts Shane Lowry and Justin Thomas to win the Truist Championship, a signature event. Straka finished at 16 under to win by 2 after Lowry had a dismal putting effort on the 72nd hole. Straka won $3.6 million. The Georgia alum has won twice on tour this season.
Where I thought Lowry went wrong was on 17 when he pulled it left and bogeyed, or was it 16? 16 maybe. When they were tied. And then he pulled the shot left and made bogey. And yeah, it was a miserable putt on 18. Did you see the look on his face when he blew it by?
Yeah.
He's like, did that really happen? How did that happen? But he lost the tournament before that.
Yeah, he did, because they both, I thought, were underwhelming coming in, to borrow your Derek Carr adjective.
Yeah.
I mean, they were short of that bunker, I think, on 16.
Correct.
Which didn't make any sense. Then I think it was on 17 that Lowry was left and over. It was sort of similar to where JT had put his.
Right. Well,
and it was just going to be an impossible up and down.
What I took out of that, watching that, and then watching how hard the end of the Masters was as Rory struggled to hang on. Golf's freaking hard. Yes. Okay, and now that you have these signature events that are not majors, but for the first time ever, there was the majors and then there's everything else.
Right.
And then there was like the majors and the players and then everything else. Well, now you have now you have 7 or 8 events or whatever the number is.
I think they have 6 signature events.
Okay, so then
and
it's
the
10.
Isn't one.
Okay, so
you've got the 4 majors.
So now you got 11 events.
The playoff.
Right. So you have 11 events and then everything else. There's pressure on those things, man.
Yeah.
The money's ridiculous, and they looked like normal humans who were nervous because of the stakes. That's what it looked like.
Well, there's no pressure like a Loser Monday.
Yeah.
And we have one coming.
Oh,
that's right. We have one this week?
Yes, we have one. So far, the standings are La Selva's got a loss. I've got a loss. And you don't, and that pisses me off.
Wow. So I'm picking third.
Yeah.
Now, so we didn't do the Masters
because we weren't.
Somebody was out of town.
So are we going to do like the FedEx Cup or are we just doing?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
It depends on how many losses you get. Look, if you don't start stacking up some losses, let me just tell you this: if you don't stack up some losses, we're doing Inglewood Stanton volleyball.
Yeah.
Okay, just so you know.
Wimbledon.
All right, fair enough. I understand. Let's get into the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo is open to leaving the Bucks. The 2-time MVP has seen Milwaukee get eliminated in the first round the last 3 seasons. The Greek Freak led the Bucks to the 2021 championship. What a story if he's on the move.
Just go to the Lakers. I mean, LeBron, Luka, and Giannis, right? I mean, why not? You know, once upon a time, a very good big man did leave the Bucks and go to the Lakers.
That's right.
It has happened.
Yes.
In case you're wondering, there is, I call that precedent.
Yes.
Okay, and he won titles both places.
That's right. Where do you think, JJ, what's your best guess in terms of who might be a fit?
I think it depends on what happens the rest of the playoffs. Like, if OKC doesn't win the title, that would be prime picking. Like, that would be the perfect landing spot for him. They have so many assets they could trade for him. Because you have to look at it the other way. Like, who would the Bucks be willing to trade? Who has enough assets for Giannis?
Right.
And there's only like a couple of teams, really.
And maybe I'm thinking of this the wrong way, JJ. You know the league so much better than I do, but I don't know that I see him going from Milwaukee to Oklahoma City.
He doesn't seem like a big market guy to me.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. You're right.
I still think he's going to end up going back to the Milwaukee, honestly.
But I mean, maybe it's just my feeble media mind.
You might be right, though.
I see him landing in, I don't know.
Like with the Knicks? Do the Knicks have
the Knicks, even, and I have no idea if the Bulls are any good or Donovan. But I mean, if they were close at all, that's a great market. And it's close, you know, and Boston and LA and New York. I thought of the Knicks too. It just seems to me he's such a great player. End your career at a big market. At least that's what ran through my mind.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's get it to the action from yesterday in the association. Kind of a lackluster day. The Pacers put the Cavs in a 3-1 hole. That's a surprise with Cleveland being the 1 seed in the East. But it was a rout, 129-109, and it was never that close.
Are we going to have the Pacers and the Knicks in the conference finals?
That could absolutely happen.
I mean, do we have John Starks and Reggie Miller?
And Oakley.
And
Anthony Mason.
And Spike Lee.
And Brick Smith.
And that's where we got there's your final.
Jalen Rose.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually think the Celtics are going to pull it off. And we'll have the same matchup as last year, which was Indiana versus Celtics. But I think Indiana Indiana, like you said, they were up 40 at halftime. To me, they're not going to be because the national media doesn't care, but they're the story of the playoffs for me right now.
You're right. When I said earlier, has the T-Wolves been the most impressive team? I was wrong. I forgot about the Pacers have been
knocked
the most
off
impressive
the Bucks
team.
and now the number one seed.
Yeah, they're the most impressive team in the postseason.
You guys mentioned Oklahoma City. They have tied it up with Denver at 2 apiece, winning 92-87 yesterday. Fatigue, a big storyline in this game with the Nuggets, but a 36-hour turnover for both squads. But seemingly the experts have said it affected Denver more than it affected Oklahoma City because of their lack of depth.
JJ made the point earlier. Jokic might be the best player going, but he's got to be really good for them to win this
and
series.
He's got it. Yes, way better than he has been. He's missed like every three the last two games. I think the other night when they did win in overtime, great game by the way, Friday night. But he was like 0-9 from 3. Right. Which you never see from him. But yeah, he's got to be a lot better for them to win.
2 pivotal game 4s tonight. The Knicks playing at the Celtics, leading 2-1, while the Timberwolves are at the Warriors, holding a 2-1 lead. Who wins tonight?
I've been caught up in this Knicks-Celtics thing, but can you watch Knicks-Celtics, JJ, when you got Pirates-Mets, for God's sake? Life's about choices, you know. You got choices. I think the Celtics are going to win, and it's going to be 2-2. What do you think, JJ?
Yeah, I think the Celtics are going to win every game the rest of the series and win in 6.
How about that?
Yeah.
By the way, go ahead.
I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But it could happen. I think the Celtics win tonight, though.
Yeah. Another thing to watch in the NBA tonight, lots of NBA today in headlines. The draft lottery is tonight, so we will see where Cooper Flagg is likely headed.
Yeah, that's exactly
Big
right.
one.
And it is. And then you and I had a meeting today, so we were talking about, for other reasons, the NBA draft. The draft's not till June 25th.
Right.
So the draft is away, but we certainly the lottery tonight, which is always a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and we will get you guys out on our musical note of the day. I don't know if you guys talked about this last week either, so I apologize, but Metallica played at Virginia Tech's Lane Stadium last week. This is, of course, Enter Sandman, which the Hokies have run out of the tunnel to since 2000. The stadium got so loud it triggered a seismic reading. Metallica has sold over 125 million albums and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009.
I'll tell you what's cool about his story. Metallica is way bigger than Virginia Tech football, but it was a big deal to them,
right?
To play this there in the response. It really was.
Yeah.
It was a big deal to them that the Hokies have played this so much. It really was, which I think is a cool thing. Well done.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. We'll wrap the program after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The NFL will be releasing team schedules for the upcoming season on Wednesday. The two teams that played in Super Bowl 59 are the betting favorites to win Super Bowl 60. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles are both at plus 600, while the Baltimore Ravens are plus 650. The Buffalo Bills are plus 700. The Detroit Lions are plus 900. San Francisco is at plus 1,300, while the Cincinnati Bengals are plus 1,600, along with the Washington Commanders, who are also plus 1,600 to win this year's Super Bowl, which will be held in February of 2026 at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Attention business owners and property managers. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Is your property ready? Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter for expert storm drain cleaning and hydrojetting. Our powerful VACCON truck clears the way so your drains flow freely when the rain hits. Call 904-862-6769 today to schedule your service and protect your property before the storms start rolling in. Duck Duck Rooter, your trusted name in storm drain maintenance. Visit us at duckduckrooter.com. We're a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be an 8-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness, all part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnickchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. I've been buying my vehicles from Nimnick since 1982 because they care about their customers and are invested in our local community, including supporting walk-off charities. And all we're trying to do to help underprivileged kids learn to play baseball. Treating you right, giving back to the community, more choices and better prices for you. So who has put the most years in stands behind a better experience? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Visit their showroom off Cassett Avenue or shop 24/7 at NimnickChevy.com. Head to Nimnick today. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through May 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Walls. The Nimnick Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Mia here. You know, people typically start and end their day by visiting their closet. So shouldn't that space feel calm, organized, like a little moment of luxury? That's why I chose Closets by Design. They specialize in custom solutions for every lifestyle and budget. Call them this week to schedule your free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus another 15% off and free installation. Don't wait for mom to do it. Call now at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
It's E.T. here, and did you know that slow speed accidents can still cause serious injuries? Ignoring minor pain today can mean big problems tomorrow. Don't wait. Call my guys at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center, the auto accident experts.
Let me get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily's Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily's Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, where have we been on the course of the program today? A lot of Jaguar talk. We were at that Jaguars rookie mini camp on Saturday. We weighed in on some of those players. In fact, you heard from Caleb Ransaw. Hays tracked him down, the first Jaguars one-on-one of the year. You'll hear a bunch of those from Hays Carlyon, so that was good today. Talked about Travis Hunter as well. We talked a little bit about the NBA injuries and other things going on there, and a sort of an homage to ESPN as the stories came out today that Chris Berman will be there in some capacity through the 50th anniversary celebration in 2029, which got us certainly talking about that as well. So all those things were fun today on the program today. Is the Gator basketball team going to get another guy or not? Are you in charge of that?
I am not in charge of that, but I have the utmost confidence in those that are in charge of it. And yeah, I think
you're saying let Todd Golden work and quit worrying. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
You're worried?
I'm not worried.
Yeah, you can't be worried.
You know what I'm antsy, Hays.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to go back to back, bro. I don't know what you're trying to do. I got back to back in my future.
Take my notebook and get a double out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think that they'll add another player, and yeah, the big one's Condon. I mean, really. I mean, if Condon goes back to school, and when I say school, if he goes back to being a professional athlete at the collegiate level,
he's composition 201.
Then
matter with you.
Then they've got it. They can absolutely win it again if Alex Condon comes back. If these guards that they've brought in are even remotely competent as players, then I mean the front court alone. I mean, no one could handle it this past year.
Right.
So with another year of development, Houck and Condon and Chinley and Handlogden,
and
I mean you don't have to have elite guard play.
But Xavier Lee's really good, and the two freshmen are really good. And was it Chris? Chris Harry was on the other day with us with JJ, and he told me, he said they think Isaiah Brown is a really good. That sounds weird because he didn't play at all last year. But they think there's really something there. I said, really? That's the one I hadn't thought. I was excited about Ingram and Lloyd coming in, and even A.J. Brown, the brother, who's, again, we'll see what he is.
He's like the Will Richard.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
But he doesn't have to necessarily be a superstar. Right. He just every so often has to bury a couple threes.
But Chris seems to think that Isaiah Brown, a guy nobody's talking about, will really affect them positively.
Well, maybe they don't need another guy.
Yeah. So we'll see. We had this talk at the training camp, the mini camp. So there's talk that Boogie Fland might wind up there.
If that happens, they may not lose the game next season.
But he's
I think he's really good.
He's the 5-star, committed to Kentucky. You know the deal. Wound up going with Cal to Arkansas, averaged a bunch of points. He's a great player.
He was hurt. He missed a lot of the SEC season. But when he came back, he was great before the injury, and he was, I thought, impressive after the injury.
And right now he's still in the draft process.
Mm-hmm.
If he but he's looked at as a second rounder for as we speak. I'm not convinced he's not going back to Arkansas. In fact, I don't even know why he wouldn't go back to Arkansas.
Well, they can pay more.
Yeah.
I mean, but that might be a coaching style kind of thing.
But I even wonder. He's a great player, and I'm not saying turn away the great talent. But I'm so intrigued on what they did without 5-star talent, without McDonald's All-Americans, and they'll have none next year. Xavier Lee went to Princeton. Xavier Lee is the guy that went to Princeton and transferred from there. So, you know what I mean? I don't know, as I sit here and think about this, the Boogie Fland would be great, but we'll see. We'll see. I almost think get the guy from Xavier or from wherever, and maybe that's just because of what I just saw happen. So, but they'll be good. So it'll be fun to see. It's good. Here's what I'll tell you: it's good to be Todd Golden right now. It's good. I mean, that thing continues to. We continue to have conversations about what that championship meant and how they connect. And I told Chris that. I asked Chris Harry last week when he was on with us. I think it was last Wednesday. I said, now Chris has been in this business a long time. He covered Gator football championships. He was an NFL writer for people. I don't know if you knew that or not, but he covered the NFL for the Tampa Trib forever, or maybe it was the Orlando paper, including the 2002 Bucks World Championship, the Brad Johnson Tampa Bay Bucks Championship, and many others. I said, where does this journey rank for you of all the ones, he said, number one, it's not even close. Do you know that?
That's awesome.
He said, not even close. He said, now part of it is I got a different role. I'm writing for the team and not objectively covering the team. Number two, he said both his wife and daughter went to Florida and they were with him for all the trips. So, but it's interesting that without flinching, this one, and we all have some recency bias. I get it. This one was special in a way that it's hard to explain.
They were a dream team when it came to, in terms of how likable they were, how gutsy they were, how talented they were, how they overcame adversity with the Condon injury, and they wouldn't have Elijah Martin. Okay, no big deal. We'll just go beat Auburn on the Plains,
right?
Convincingly. They just never batted an eye. I mean, they were down 9 with 2:54 to play against Texas Tech. Okay, no big deal. We'll foul these guys and they'll miss free throws, and we'll come down and bury threes and we'll win the game. I mean, it just was remarkable. It really was. The further you get away from it, it really was remarkable what they were able to accomplish and just how likable and cohesive they were.
Amazing stuff. Let's say hello to Hacker.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. Near your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Where did this Gator championship rank with your favorite championships?
Oh, it was up there.
Right.
It was up there. 96 football, just because I was 12.
Yeah.
It's the first one ever.
And for us Gator fans, that one probably will stand alone for a lot of the reasons.
Yeah. 08 football was a lot of fun. The Ole Miss speech after they lost that game, the Tebow speech, and to solidify the promise to Gator Nation was pretty high.
08 football would be lower for me.
Really?
And I think you're in the majority. I think I'm in the minority there. I mean, listen, there's only a handful of them.
Right.
There's only what, 6 titles. So, but I don't that one for me. 08 football would probably be of the 6 Gator titles, 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're a baseball guy too. Is the baseball title rank above any of the basketball?
I love baseball and I love Gator baseball, but it doesn't compare with basketball and football. I mean, as far as fandom.
But this one was fun. I mean, because look, the second back-to-back, if you didn't win the national title, it was a disaster.
It's almost a relief.
Right. It was a relief, right? Yeah.
I almost felt that way about 08. Maybe that's why I felt the way.
Yeah.
Because 09, they didn't win it, and I thought they were going to again.
Right.
So.
And this one, they were losing at the under 4 timeout like 4 times.
That's what Hays just said.
And they came back and won all of them.
It was a dream. Hey, your word.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't have written a script that I think could have been believable if you tried to sell it. It was remarkable.
So I've asked where I think Walter Clayton's the greatest basketball player in their history. And he even ranks in the greatest players of history. I thought about this the other day. You're the perfect person because you and JJ watch the NBA so much. What if, just for the sake of the conversation, what if he does become Steph? Mm-hmm. Remember, Steph came from Davidson. Nobody thought he was going to be that. Nobody thought Steph was going to be Steph. They thought he'd make the league.
I don't even think he was taken in the top 10 of that draft, was he? Wasn't he like in the teens?
I thought he was in the top 10, but there was a lot of talk about how would he want to go to Golden State? Right. He was from North Carolina or from Davidson, which was in North Carolina.
What if Walter Clayton Jr. becomes a great NBA player? Well, that'll heighten the way Gator fans remember him, don't you think?
Yeah, but I think Gator fans remember him great already. I mean,
they should.
You and I talk. Other than Horford, see, Noah was the rock star.
Right.
Clayton's the better player.
Right. Agreed.
But people love Joakim Noah because he was the long hair rock star guy.
Yeah, he was the most charismatic. But I think Clayton's the greatest player in their history. To me, the greatest player, the 3 greatest basketball players in their history. I got Horford, Noah 4th and 5th.
Oh, wow.
For me, the greatest stats ever was Neil Walk. Hackey averaged 26 and 19.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I know he was good.
26 and 19 as a junior. Then they double teamed him as a senior. He averaged 25 and 18.
Just because of my age, I don't fully appreciate him. I've just seen videos.
He was the second pick of the draft. The first was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Right.
Okay, but other than that, the other one, I think Vernon Maxwell. I think Vernon Maxwell but nobody carried him the way this guy did. Nobody carried him, so it was amazing. All right, what's coming up? What do you got?
Yeah, Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com. We're going to review rookie minicamp. I'm going to talk about the Travis Hunter effect. I was down in Orlando for the last 5 days, wore a couple of Jaguar polos, a Jaguar hat. I got more Travis Hunter conversation, not Jaguar conversation. People said, "Oh, Travis Hunter." Yeah. They pointed to my hat. Didn't say the Jacksonville Jaguars. They said, "Oh, yeah, Travis Hunter." So I'm going to talk about that. Where does this guy rank already as far as most popular Jaguars nationwide. I think it's a conversation.
Yes, that'll be a lot of fun. You'll do a great job. Hacker Next is up tonight. Thank you, Hacker.
Thanks, guys.
That. All right, that'll do it for our program. Hackers Next, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Hayes, great to have you back. Great to have the band back together.
Absolutely.
For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.